and a lot of the young guys getting involved. It was cool. It's different. We haven't played football against somebody else since January, so it was just good to, be out there with the guys and see everybody flying around having fun.
There were some run fit issues, and Antonio talked about that. Is that something you just chalk up to, hey, it's first preseason game, or do you kind of get on the guys and say you got to get it right now?
No, you just got to get off blocks. It's as simple as that. Defeating blocks, block destruction, we talk about every single day. So it's something that, on the film we noticed, and it's got to be better. So, yeah, you have a lot of guys playing. We have like 4 units, defensively, and, you're only strong as your weakest link. So we want everyone playing at the standard, and that wasn't our standard at all. So we're looking forward to get back out there, and, it starts with, practice tonight. So we're excited.
Your first game, really getting a chance to play alongside Christian in live action. I know it was only a quarter, but what were some of your first impressions?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's the same thing. Christian's got great energy. He's a great player. And it was exciting, being next to him out there in the silver and black. It looked a little bit different. We played against each other a couple times in the past, and being in a Dolphin uniform, but it was great seeing him out there being disruptive and doing his thing. So yeah, we got one drive, but we're looking forward to just improving 1% every day.
Tomorrow night, you guys get to practice in front of 40 to 50,000 people at Allegiant Stadium, and you haven't done that in the last few years here. Just thoughts about doing that tomorrow?
Yeah, we've done a lot of things different this year. It's been cool. Being able to go to LA for a few weeks, be with the guys. We haven't had any night practices since I've been in the league, and now we're doing that. Just doing things a little bit different, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, the goal is the same. Every day we show up with a mindset to improve, and that's literally all we're focused on. So we have a ton of work to do, and just be in front of the fans, and they get to see a little bit of the work we've been putting in is going to be special for sure.
You got this series. Do you have a preference of how much like on Saturday you play, or is it not a big deal to you?
You're talking about personally for like the preseason?
You're already ready.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. Whatever they want me to do, I'm gonna do. I played one drive my rookie year, and I broke my hand, and then I didn't play in the preseason my second year, my third year, my fourth year. I played one drive last year, and I got one drive this year. So. It is what it is. We're all just, at the end of the day, we're getting ready for week 1. And that's truly all that matters. And for me, I'm not looking too far in the future, not looking in the past. I'm just strictly focused on improving every day. So whether I get one drive or 2 drives or whatever it is in the preseason, I'm going to go out there and do everything I can to be at my absolute best. And, and that's to be the best in the world. So that's literally all that matters to me.
When you hear about preseason game, you usually talk about the offense being vanilla, but can defenses be vanilla too, or do you guys really need to kind of show what you got or do what you need to do as a defense?
It's tough. At the end of the day, people don't want to show their cards. So yeah, some things are going to be vanilla. You would think that would go both ways, but sometimes some coaches want to, just get some film out there and just see how it goes and put some plays out there. So you really don't know. Like preseason's a tough one. You really don't know what to expect. Kevin O'Connell was chipping and sliding and doing things like that in the preseason. I didn't really expect that either. So at the end of the day, every coach has their own theory and things like that. But at the end of the day, everyone's out there just trying to improve and get their feet wet and improve one snap at a time.
As a captain and a guy that preaches team, what does it say about the character of Gardner and Aiden that they're in the middle of a fierce battle, but they're each other's biggest supporter?
Yeah, that's at the end of the day, like if you're hating on the guy you're competing with, like you're typically the one losing the battle. So at the end of the day, they're making each other better. Gardner's done a lot of good things in this league. Aiden's played, obviously less. He's, going to his second year, but Aiden's won some football games in this league as well. So they're both young guys with a bunch of talent, and it's been fun watching them, and competing against them every single day because, at the end of the day, this is a National Football League. Literally it's about production. That's how you make your money in this league and leading. So those guys are fighting every single day. I know both of them want it, and the best man's going to win. So it's going to be interesting.
Whether it's the defense or just your defensive line in general, those younger guys that are really fighting for spots, what's the biggest thing you preach to them as they're pushing to make that roster?
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Like, especially as young guys, like in preseason, you go out there and, you could practice well all week and be real focused on your technique and things like that, but sometimes guys go into the game and try to be Superman, you know what I mean? What helps you make plays is by dominating the simple things, and that's truly what's helped me get to, my level, and I feel like is continuing to ascend my game is just by dominating the little details, and that's going to lead to bigger things. So I just try to preach that to all the young guys, like just focus on your technique and focus on what you need to focus on, not having your eyes in the backfield as a D lineman. Like it sounds so simple, but it's something that a lot of guys struggle with, especially early on in their careers. So if your eyes are right, your hands are right, your feet pad level, and your get off is on point, like that's going to lead you to great things, and it's going to take you to plays. If you're chasing plays, you're typically not going to make as much as you would want. So, yeah, that's really what I've been just been preaching to the guys.
What's the guys that you feel like have been able to really take that advice and take it to the next level that you've seen in camp so far?
Yeah, as a D line as a whole, like. We have such a big group. It's crazy. Like I think we got 18 guys or something like that. We got 4 coaches in there too. It's like we have it's like a party in our room every day. Like we're super competitive. We got the little mini hoop. Getting competitive on that. Like every single day is a competition. So, but just having a big group like that, you see young guys like. People haven't, said much about Noah Shannon, but that dude is a baller. Like he's showing up every single day and improving. Guys like R.J. Stone. You got J-Rob, Tyree, all these guys are, focusing on improving every day. And, you see the competition. Like, we're all real close at the end of the day. It's like he said about Aiden and Garner. But everyone, it's a National Football League. You know what I mean? There's only a certain amount of jobs available, and everybody's fighting for that. So, we're all we're a real tight-knit group. But at the end of the day, we know what we're fighting for. And it's real cool being on the other side, seeing the young guys, kind of go at it. It's cool.
We got to see a video on social media of some of the guys having some fun with you about taking Gardner down last week. I guess, first of all, we haven't talked about what happened there, and what is it like when guys feel the ability? I mean, you are a leader, you're a star player, and guys feel that they can, kind of make fun of you a little bit.
Yeah, if you got to have thick skin. It's the National Football League, like I said for the 10th time, but you got to have thick skin. At the end of the day, it's like we're all brothers. It's a brotherhood, and I definitely, AP would probably say it himself and every coach in the building, but I tend to, push the line when it comes to getting close to the quarterback in practice. So, yeah, sometimes, I get a little too close and people go down. So, yeah, they're clowning me a little bit about me taking out the quarterbacks, hitting the ball and stuff. But for me, I just look at it from my perspective, like, I'm not out there trying to hurt anybody or put anybody at risk, but I'm also getting ready to go out there and, like I said, be the best player in the world. Like, that's my goal, and that's my standard. So every detail matters, reaching for the ball, winning my rushes, finishing my rushes. I'm not going to win the first half of the rush and then stop, you know what I mean? So sometimes I do push the line a little bit, but that's just who I am. I'm not – Coach says it, I'm not going to stop. He's not going to slow me down. I just got to be smart at times. So, yeah, there was times in camp where, like, he would limit me in team reps because I'm, being a little wild. But that's who I am, and it's what got me here. So at the end of the day, like I said, like it's, the guys, poke fun at me and they get irritated sometimes. Some of them want to fight me sometimes. But it's like at the end of the day, it's all love. I'm just out there trying to be the best version of myself.
You have to take Dylan Lobby out at practice now for making fun of you?
Dylan? No, I love Cheddar Bob. That's my guy. That's what we call him. That's what we call him. It's Cheddar Bob. He's a stud. Yeah, from 8 Mile. That's him. Yeah, he's a stud. He's been doing a great job, and anytime he if he picks fun at me, he gets a little pass for now. So we'll see.
Robbie Leonard told me that you want him to coach you hard and push you.
Yeah.
What is it about you and Robbie in your relationship?
Ever since he's gotten here, me and him have been super close. Like he's an incredible coach. Like we have that mutual respect where, we talk about everything. It's not just football, and I think that's the most important thing about, being a successful team and a winning team. Like you got to have real relationships. And in our room, like our D-line room's like it's our own fraternity. And Robbie is the one leading that charge, and he's an incredible coach. He's smart. He's young. He knows ball. He knows the whole defense. Like he can sit there and we break down things from old film to new film to what am I seeing on certain blocks? When is the best opportunity for me to take a risk or take a shot right here? Like we break all those things down, and that's what makes him a special coach, because he doesn't coach everybody the same. Everybody has to be coached a certain way, and I think he does an incredible job of that. I think Rob Marinelli, I talk about him all the time, but he was arguably the best coach I've ever been around. It's not even a question. And what I think made him special, and Rich Bisaccia, those guys, like they knew how to coach everybody differently. They knew how to get the best out of certain guys. Some guys need to be pushed more. Some guys need to be pulled more. Some guys need to, everybody's different. So I think that's what Robbie does. He does at a really high level, and that's why, you see our group, just getting better and better as a unit. So yeah, I give a ton of credit to Robbie. He's an incredible coach. We got an awesome relationship, and yeah, it's been amazing so far.
Actually, you talked before about how you incorporated like MMA into your off-season training.
Yeah.
Did you do anything like that this off-season? And what is the transfer to the NFL?
Yeah, for sure. I box every single day after practice. Now I'm doing it, especially during training camp. I've boxed literally every day. So, it's an everyday part of my routine. Just hand speed, technique, understanding distance. All those things are super important. It's literally a direct translation to pass rush and to D-line play. So, that's what I started doing it a few years back, and that's something I'm really, passionate about. And you see in the Dylan Labe video, I'm sitting there, he's punching the air, doing uppercuts and stuff. Like, I literally walk around the building. Everywhere I turn, I'm using my hands and I'm throwing punches. Like, that's just who I am. And, I really love and intrigued by boxing, especially. And it's something that's I feel like has continued to help me ascend as a player. And this offseason, last year I sparred Strickland, and this year I went against Dominic Cruz. He was like a champion for about 10 years. He's a smaller guy, but he's got incredible footwork, and he's one of the best defensive fighters in the UFC. So for me, it was just a different type of challenge. A guy with that type of speed. Testing myself in a different way. So yeah, we got after it. We were definitely cracking. But yeah, I love doing stuff like that because I feel like, it's just as a parent, like my dad, when I was young, like he never forced me to, you're only playing football and whatever. He let me play any sport. My parents were like that. So I think it's super important, especially for kids nowadays, to be able to play all sports and figure out what they do best. But I feel like playing all those sports is just going to help you as an athlete in general. And whatever your main sport's going to be, you can take something from every sport you played. And I think that's super, super important, because I've seen guys that their parents and stuff when they're young, they're like, you're only playing football, you only focus on football. And then, they don't develop any other type of, strain on their body. They only know football. But like I play basketball. You see it in my pass rush. I fight. People see that too. But it's a direct translation of what I do on the field, and I think it's super important. So yeah, I love fighting. And Dominic Cruz, I got to give a big shout out to him. I literally hit him up on a random day. I was like, yo, what are you doing? And showed up to the Apex, and me and him did like 5-6 rounds just fucking swinging on each other. So it was a great time.
You landed any shots? You landed any shots on Dominic?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no question. He's tough as hell though. He's hard to hit, but yeah, I definitely landed some shots. Another guy, Michael Hunter, he's one of the best heavyweight boxers in the world right now. Me and him spar all the time. So that's another guy. I got to give a bunch of credit to him. We get after it too. So I feel like it's super important. It works, your reflexes, your timing, everything. It just makes you, better overall as an athlete.
It's good.
All good. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, brother. Izzy or Crickets? Huh? Izzy or Crickets?
I think Izzy's going to knock him out second round. It's my prediction.
Have you ever seen A-Ball?
Oh, yeah.
I remember, I'm from Michigan. You ever get a hold of it? That's why I asked. So you said
What did you say?
they were rolling justice for you. Texas from Michigan and not
Back to this.
Yeah. You got to call you out the state.
Zeke's from there too, so.
Yeah. I know you went to West, right?
Yeah. So that's,
Yeah, if you're from Michigan and you haven't watched 8 Mile, you got to turn in your Michigan.
that's read.
I know.
It just caught me off guard.
When he said it, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what?
Like, I'm like, oh my god! I just saw the. I'm like, oh my god! I
No,
can see
so I
it.
had known from like they all
Thanks so much.
But you didn't know that's where it was from.
No, I knew that was where it was from. I'm just so surprised.
So yeah,
He said
that. Just like
You know the next time we
it just started like when you said the email, you think? Like I thought it was.
I saw Taylor.
just talked to the
face.
I thought he was gonna keep that in the locker room, but man, so can you? That's just.
I wasn't very fun. I'm not gonna lie. Had to hide my face from the.
Just roll
I was stunned. It's what, like,
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like D.
Davante, a lot more important than football. What was that moment like the first time you held your son?
I mean, it's special. It's definitely special. Everybody keep asking me if it was different, and it was. You know, just finally having that boy. And it was obviously, I feel like a lot of men come in wanting to have their boy first, especially, you know, doing what I do. I've always just felt like it's something that a boy would appreciate being in school right now, and, you know, some of the things that my daughter will get to experience. But, you know, at any point when you get your boy and you've been looking for him, you know, it's a great feeling, especially when they're healthy.
Usually going into your first season in offense, it might be an issue to miss a few practices and the preseason game, but familiarity with these offenses that kind of help you, you know, jump back up to speed and you're ready for this week.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's only one part of it. Obviously, you know, you got to do what you got to do when it comes to family and obviously your children. But anytime you have to miss some time during camp at this point in the year, it's not the most comfortable feeling. But we got to get back to work, and obviously having some familiarity with the scheme, it helps me, eases my mind knowing, you know, I've done it all before, and but still being able to get those reps. So we're going to hit it hard, making sure we, you know, make up for any lost time.
I know you're busy, obviously, with family stuff, but was it kind of nice to get some time to rest your body a little bit, take away from the training camp?
I mean, we had only been going for like a week, so it wasn't that much. But I mean, anytime you get to rest and, you know, you played as long as I have, is, you know, your body's happy about it, but my mind is not, because, you know, it's racing, just thinking about being with the team. And, you know, up until the point when my son got there, then obviously my mind kind of transferred more to that. You know, being that my wife was healthy and everything was smooth leading up to it, so didn't really have too much to just focus on with that. We were just kind of just playing a waiting game and just watching film, watching the guys go, and still trying to keep up with them and make sure that they, you know, I'm there for them if they need anything, and vice versa.
Given the situation with the quarterback, are you know, and the starters playing on Saturday and maybe even this Saturday, do you want to be out there? Is this a chance that you would like to be out there on the field and play?
I mean, it'll be. I'm sure we'll have some sort of conversation, but I don't think I played in a preseason game since 16. So, I mean, we practice the right way. We go about it and get on the same page with the quarterbacks, and obviously a little bit of, you know, a few reps could help, but just based off of the risk, it's not on my mind. It's something that I'm looking forward to. I look forward to the games to, you know, watch the guys go at it and watch the team get better and all the things that go in with that. But definitely not. If I'm choosing, I'm not playing.
One guy that we've been noticing is Tre Tucker. He put a lot of work in. You could tell this offseason, and kind of carried over to that game. He made some nice catches. The one where you know, caught it falling down, diving. What are your thoughts on Tre and how he's approached year two?
Well, the first thing Tre did that was probably the smartest thing he's ever done is get LASIK eye surgery. So when he did that, you can tell he's a lot more confident catching the ball, and you know, playing this position, that has to be something that's not even on your mind. You know, you just think about making the play, not hopefully I catch this ball. So I've seen his confidence in his hands, and, you know, you can feel a person's confidence as they progress and get better at a specific, you know, part of their game. So to watch the evolution of him and to know his mentality and you know, his aim going out there, he's a very driven young player, and you know, he's doing all the things right now to put himself in position to keep getting better. So, I mean, he's like my son right now. I feel like I got a son on the team, and in the most like brotherly way. But, you know, we one in the year 2, one in the year 11. We got a little, you know, experience gap, and I love nothing more here but to, you know, help anybody, but especially that kid.
Gave out the nickname Businessman, Brock Bowers, with what you saw from him, where he was lined up at what you looked like from him.
Well, first, I told him we were crossing paths yesterday, and I had to let him know because, you know, y'all and people on TV, you see, you know, that little one-step or slant that he caught across the middle, you know, low like that. You see a play like that, and you kind of just look at it as a routine catch, which it should be, and that's kind of how we look at it. But those are not easy, especially as your first grab in the league. So to have a ball kind of at your knees while you're on the run back inside and catch it and, you know, make a guy miss kind of on that, and, you know, I was proud of him. So I had to kind of give him a little positive reinforcement on that. But the businessman don't really need to hear from me. He's already locked in and ready to go. So
proud of him for that too.
What are your thoughts on what you saw from the offense in the first 30 minutes last Saturday?
Impressed. They had me hyped, man. It was only the second time that I've been on a team and got to watch the game, from home. So, watching that first drive, seeing the explosive plays, Cope starting it off, running some good routes, Aiden going in there doing his thing and finding a good rhythm early, with the QB battle and all that stuff. That stuff can weigh on your mind sometimes, and it can go one way or the other. So for him to start off like that, I know it did a lot for his confidence, and the flow of the team. There's a couple, obviously, with some really clear, nice plays, and then there were some ones like the one where Jacoby went to the top of his route and had to kind of throw the guy off him, come back to the ball, and Aiden threw before he even turned. Like, those are the type of plays that I really get fired up about. And these dudes are in the game, and I'm texting in group chats, just in case I look at it at halftime or after the game, but just let them know that I'm fired up watching and can't wait to get back with them.
What did you see specifically from the quarterbacks, Davante?
I mean, they both balled out. They both did their thing, and Gardner came in and picked up right where Aiden left off, and they both played their game too. You can see, we got two quarterbacks that are not necessarily the same, and when you got a guy that like Aiden, who he's an extremely accurate thrower, and a little bit more traditional, and he's playing his game, and he goes out there and stays within himself, and moving in the pocket and trusting the O-line, and obviously the O-line doing a good job keeping both of those guys clean as much as possible. I've seen a lot of good, so hopefully we keep doing that, and it's gonna make it hard on AP to figure out, but I'm praying for nothing but success for both of them.
DJ Turner is a guy that's having a terrific camp. Would you talk about what you've seen in him and his maturation, please?
Yeah, DJ, it's funny because we talked about it going into the offseason and kind of throughout the offseason about where his mind was and what his goals were, not numbers-wise, but, just to get better and just to keep earning the respect of the coaches and, the team as well. And you've seen the work that he put in. I know the work he was putting in the offseason when we were away, and it's definitely paying off. And the more you make plays, the more it grows your confidence. And you'll hear me talk about confidence all the time because that's one of the biggest components of being able to have success in this league is, stacking success, and which leads to you going out there and being able to walk around a certain type of way on game day. And, that's why I feel the way that I do out on, pregame, and I'm, I feel like people are watching me, and it's, obviously they are, but I have it on my mind, and, I put all the work in. So at that point, it's just about, same thing about, you talked about, me missing any preseason games or any action that we had in practice. And when you bring that intentionality, game-like intentionality to your practice habits, and you go out in preseason and do those things, and it just continues to grow your mind. And then at that point, it's not anything else than just making the play.
How exciting is it for a player? I mean, I know you played in some huge crowds, but to have a practice tomorrow in front of fans, hasn't done that in a while around here.
Yeah.
Just to get out there and kind of, play in front of fans like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great deal. I mean, you get a different type of feeling when you walk in on that field in Allegiant. So I know guys will be in the locker room feeling like it's a game before, even though it's not. But it's hard not to have that feeling when you walk in that building and see all those fans and see how fired up everybody is for the season. So. That'll be fun.
How quickly did you regret agreeing to eat hot wings with Amon-Ra St. Brown? You know what?
I can't say I regret it because it was fun. Got to hang out with one of my guys for a minute, but 2 million Scoville units, I believe they call it. I don't know if y'all ever tasted anything that's that hot before, but it's not a game. Obviously, it's funny because we laughing and doing all of that, but like it's not acting. Like it's not barbecue wings and we just like doing that. Mind you, the wings are not like wet. Like, you can go to Buffalo Wild Wings and they'll make them like drenched in the sauce. It's like they put the sauce on and took it off. So you don't even have that much like extra like thickness of the sauce on there that'll really make it bad. And it was horrible. So fun experience, but not a good time. And I don't like drinking milk either, and I had to drink a lot of milk after that.
How much more comfortable are you now, just mentally, emotionally, everything, now that the baby's here, mama's fine, and the team is back here in Vegas for you, just to focus now, I guess, on the football that's coming?
Yeah, I'm still letting the last bit. I think hopefully after this, this presser, this will be the last where I can finally put it to bed. I've seen basically everybody in the facility now, got all the congratulatory, thanks, all that stuff out the way. So now it's just, like you said, just locking back in on what we got to do. And, got my healthy baby boy at home and, the rest of the kids there. So we got a full house and a lot of help and support around us to make sure I can lock in when we're in the building too.
All right,
Good. Thanks.
Serious about the hit. That's what you're saying.
Corrected played in preseason.
I went up to Santa Monica. Just have a restaurant there. I love. Okay. We went up to Santa Monica. What did it take us, Craig? Like an hour?
Hey, what up? Like 50 minutes.
It was horrible. Craig's like, oh, it's a Sunday afternoon. It won't be bad.
Costa Mesa? That's good.
That's not bad.
That's good.
That's actually not bad.
There was so much traffic. And he's
They
like,
can be that drive from those two places.
I know, but he's like, oh, this isn't bad traffic. I'm
Yes,
like, this isn't bad traffic.
Yeah, that's
Then he told me, he goes, it's normally a parking lot.
no exaggeration.
That's the busiest freeway
In the country, yeah.
Yeah, it's the 405.
Yeah, it's no exaggeration. Put your car in park, you're not going to get there. Everybody.
Any other driver would have been 2 hours with him.
Are you implying I'm a fast
I'm not saying it.
Yeah, the traffic is the one thing I don't miss about Los Angeles. So,
I love when Southern California. I'm getting those jams.
nuts. Out of your mind. Drove me out of my mind.
Okay, guys, questions for Trey?
Davante mentioned that you had gotten LASIK eye surgery during the offseason. What kind of went behind that decision?
I would say, when I looked at the end of my season last year, I was actually, farsighted, so it's harder seeing things far away. And, it wasn't crazy, but, as a receiver, you don't have 20/20 vision. I think it's very important that you do. So it's something that I looked into and something that I ultimately decided to do.
Have you noticed that it's worked in terms of picking up the ball?
For sure, yeah. You see the precision, the depth precision, the HD of the vision. It's a huge difference, and well worth getting it done.
Is there a major adjustment in terms of you figured out how to see the ball when you don't see it perfectly? So now you see it perfectly, maybe it's getting there a bit quicker than you expect. Is there an adjustment like that?
I mean, I would just say it's the depth precision. When you're seeing something far away, you don't really know how fast it's coming or where is it, and you're able to locate the ball faster. So that's probably what I've noticed out of getting it. So yeah.
It's the preseason, obviously, but you got a big play the other day. How did that feel? Just confidence-wise, just to get it done on the field like that.
I mean, it happened so fast. People asking about it. It's crazy. I just remember looking over one shoulder and looking over the other, and next thing you know, it just came down with the catch. So that's one of those ones where you probably won't get that in practice, but when it comes in the game, you got to make it.
How different is the vibe in that receiver room with Davante back now?
That's my guy, man. I know I was happy to see him. Obviously, it is what it is. The offense runs through him, and the receiver room does as well. So he's a leader, and having him is just like I would say like a confidence booster, because he's one of the best, if not the best. So just having him alongside of all of us, and kind of just how he teaches us, and critiquing and all that type of stuff is very good to have.
He said, he's obviously his son just showed up, but he also said that you were kind of his son too.
Oh no, no, I'm gonna have to get him. No, he's like a big brother. I'm gonna have to get him about that for sure.
How'd that relationship kind of build to where it is right now? I mean, it is Davante Adams, obviously, and all respect your way as well, but it is Davante Adams.
Right.
Was it kind of a slow go or pretty immediate?
I think when you really get to know Tay and like who he is, I guess it just we kind of think the same way, So for me and him, we kind of instantly clicked. I came in as a rookie, and like I just said, we value the same things, and so when that happens, you become really close to him or to whoever that is with. And me and him, we just really hit it off. And I would say really this year and last year, we got closer as the year went, but this year we really got super close. And like I said, it's just like-minded people.
What do you think is the biggest thing that, whether it's on the field or off the field in your personal life, what's the biggest thing that you would say you've taken from Davante?
Man, that's a great question. A lot of things, man. I mean, like I'm sure he's told you, but like I try to ask him a question all the time. Now we were close, so it's just kind of like a conversation. But before then, man, it was just like, like how he always says, like how he measures, it's about greatness. He doesn't measure his status on wins and losses, which, for me, is very important. If I'm my best self, then that makes the team better. So kind of that standpoint, and too many things to name on the football field. Just how to play around with DBs and that type of thing, and he's the best at it. So,
how big of a blessing is it for a young player to have arguably the best receiver in the NFL that is your go-to guy?
It's a blessing, honestly. I always think about that because there's 31 other teams and there's 31 other wide receiver rooms, but luckily enough, I got to be in this one and with him, and it's a huge part in my development.
You guys clicked instantly, but you were in high school and he was the best receiver in the league. I mean, was there a moment of like, oh my God, that's Davante Adams?
I mean, I'll tell you this. I remember 2022, so obviously I got drafted in 2023. I was watching the Raiders and Chiefs game at the Chiefs, and crazy game and all the stuff that happened. And I just remember, like, my coach, we came in and watched film, and he would, like, put on a bunch of NFL receivers, and all we watched was Davante Adams, his release, his route running, and all that. And then it just so happened one day I woke up, and I was a Raider. I'm like, that's my teammate now. Wow. And then we just hit it off, and that's my guy.
Trey, you mostly play outside against the Vikings with Davante not playing. I know you played mostly in the slot last year. Do you feel more comfortable in that position? I know you mentioned kind of learning both a little bit more this year.
So I think I had like 300 snaps last year. I actually played 200 outside. So the slot actually, as you can see with all three of us, we kind of play everywhere. There's really no slot receiver, and majority you'll see me outside, just because of, my skill set and what I can do. But I feel comfortable anywhere. That's the value that us three, me, Jacoby, and Tay bring, that, we're versatile to be able to play inside, play outside, and just kind of hide people. And, not just people can key on like, well, he's lining up here, he's lining up here. So, but you'll definitely see me more outside.
I know we've asked you a lot about Davante, but you just mentioned Jacoby too. Like, it seems like this is finally the offseason where a lot of people around the league said, oh, like, that dude is legit. Like, did you kind of feel that? And what have you thought about being around him?
He's the most underrated player. I mean, I watch him run routes and do things, and I'm just like, how do you do that? He's like his releases, and I think the thing that flies on the radar, and a lot of people around the league know, he's just a dog. I mean, he'll go in there and hit a D lineman and put him on their back. You know what I mean? And to be a receiver to do that, that's different. That's kind of a tight end job, or a lineman or running back job. But he does it, and he's just a dog. And same with Tay. Those are like my big brothers. But I beat up on Kobe more than I do Tay. So, but he's a big part too, and he gives me a lot of things that he's like, you work on this, do this, and I kind of pick his brain just as much as I do Tay's.
Career, does the mind game and the fundamentals and the technique, does it become, I wouldn't say fun, I'm not saying that, but just a part of the game that you appreciate a little bit more and get into a little bit more?
For sure. Like going back on, like we were talking about Tay earlier, like, it's crazy to think about, like, maybe the second play of the game is a run play and you outside release and do like a little stutter or something, and next time you do it, he's like, oh, he just did a stutter. Now he's going to do this. And you're just playing mind games with him. So to be able to do that and know what you're doing is huge, because I kind of did it a little this week in Minnesota, like, run play, and that doesn't apply to my rules, that I'm able to, have some freedom, and then it kind of sets up some stuff later on. So it's fun, and it definitely works.
Tre, kind of piggybacking off of that, where do you feel is the biggest difference for you from last season to this season in terms of your personal growth?
Yeah, I would just say, knowing the ins and outs of everything. As a rookie, every week is a new week. You're learning something new. Thursday games, Saturday games, Sunday games. Every week is something new. So kind of knowing what to expect, and then knowing what they expect of me, and then doing my job, and not just doing my job, doing it really well.
Well, we talked a lot about the success that you had in camp. A lot of really good plays showed up a lot. There was a couple plays that you looked like you didn't love. That you had with go drops, things like that. How tough is it to move on? Like, how it seems like you get frustrated with it. Like, how quickly can you move on, and how tough is that process?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things go into that, and I know you guys don't know, but a lot of things go into it. What was the play call? What was I running? Was I running the right route? Was it the right read? So a lot of things go into that, but at the end of the day, being a receiver, if the ball touches your hand, you should catch it. So knowing the amount of work that I put in, and knowing how I feel about myself, sometimes it gets frustrating, but it doesn't down me, because I know what I can do, you know what I mean? And obviously this past week was kind of a display of that, so it doesn't weigh on me, and it's not something that I'm looking at like, oh my gosh, because like I said, I know the steps that I took this offseason, and I know what I'm going to do, so.
Obviously, you're in the back end of this quarterback battle between Aiden and Gardner, but obviously you've been with Aiden since rookie minicamp last year. How comfortable would you say you are with him from then to now, just on the field and being in sync with another?
Yeah, I mean, he's my guy. I mean, it's every time I see him, we crack a joke. So very comfortable, and I know he trusts me. And I got his back, and he's got mine. So. Whenever he puts that ball in the air, it's either got to be mine or nobody's. I never want to give him an interception that he was targeting me. And like I said, just have his back, because, a lot of people don't understand the quarterbacks have a lot to go through, especially in the NFL. It's a very mental game for them. So just try to help them out as much as you can.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.